Baby, there are some inserts in this planner that are a hot topic in these planner streets, so we're gonna talk about it. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for joining me for another video. This is Quita from AtHomeWithQuita, and here are your tips on how to plan a balanced life. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. Okay, as I said in the intro, y'all, there are some inserts in this planner that y'all have a lot of questions about. So we're gonna talk to the people about it today. And that is all about routines. Now, I am a big advocate for the routines. I feel like they're super duper important. Everybody should have routines. And so I'm gonna talk to y'all about all of the routines I have and how I have them laid out and structured and how I keep up with them. So let's get into it. Okay, y'all, so this is the section that I have dedicated solely for my routines. And when I show these pages in any video or any social media, y'all always have questions. Y'all like, how does my sis get all that done? And y'all are a little wee bit overwhelmed by them. And so I thought in this video today, I will break them down for you and talk you through what all this means and how I get it all done, okay? So I'm gonna go through this entire section with you, and I'm just gonna talk you through all of my routines. And then at the end of the video, we'll do a step-by-step guide or how-to on how you can create routines, because again, I feel like they're so important. Now, I can't convince you of the importance of them. You already got to be sold on them by the time you watch this video. So do your research and see if routines are something that you may want to implement. Again, I'm a big advocate for them. I feel like they just kind of help you to know what needs to be accomplished during the day. They can be very simple. You don't have to go all out like I have. And at the end of the day, I'm already in the groove of things. I know what I need to do, so I don't really refer to them a lot, but I like to have them here in my planner. Things constantly change, so I'm constantly updating things, and it's just a good resource to be able to have it in your planner to refer to if needed again, and just to kind of make sure you're on track with everything you need to do, okay? So routines are your superpower. Don't sleep on them, all right? So let's go through this entire section here so you can kind of see how I have everything laid out and how my routines work for me to make me feel like I'm getting all the things done, okay? So first and foremost, I like to pop in a little pocket folder here. This is a mini size pocket folder just to be able to drop some things in, whether, you know, it's decorative items or functional items. So I just have that there first. Again, this is a whole entire routine section dedicated to routines, okay? First and foremost, everybody should have a planner routine, especially if you have a planner that you're using. Even if you don't have a insert like this, which by the way, we have this in vellum or paper format. Everything you see here is from Fancy Plans Co. So even if you just have it written in somewhere, or, you know, it's just you knowing in your head, which again, I don't like having things in your head, but if that's the way you gotta go, just have some sort of routine for keeping up with your planner so you can make sure you're writing in your planner, you're checking things off in your planner, you're making your to-do list, you're doing all the things so that you can get everything accomplished that you need to get accomplished, okay? So for instance, I have a daily, weekly, and monthly planner routine, and then I have a little side section here if I need to write some additional things in. So things like make your to-do list, decide your priorities, structure your day, writing your tasks and appointments, focus on one task at a time, check off tasks as completed, transfer unfinished tasks, repeat daily. That's easy, right? So these are things you should be doing on a daily basis to make sure you keep up with your planner. Okay, so just a simple planner routine is all you need. And some of these things are reminder things, and some of these things are actual things that I need to be doing. All right, so that's what I do on a daily basis. And sometimes it's even like hourly, where I just come and I just check in with my planner real quick, or if I need to write something in, or if I need to check something off, I'm doing that in the moment. Okay, I also have things like weekly tasks I need to do, like decorating my planner, doing my setup, transferring my tasks, mapping out my goals. Things like that are going to be done on a weekly basis. And then of course we have our monthly. So I'm doing a monthly spread. I'm making sure I'm creating my monthly calendar of all the tasks to be done during the month as an overview, mapping my goals out, all of those things. So this is a great insert for a beginner planner, in my opinion, because I just feel like, you know, if you need a starting point, how do I use my planner this is a great insert for that, to kind of give you some direction on exactly what to write in your planner. And it just gives you that foundation to be able to make sure that, you know, you're structuring things in a way that makes sense for you. Okay. On the backhand side, I have a list of things I want to make sure that I remember to check in on, for lack of a better word or a better phrase, like anniversaries. I want to make sure whose anniversary is this week. Are there any outings that I want to do in my area? What is available to us right now that I can write in my calendar, so that way we can go do those things? Whether it be coming up with different ideas for you know, Bible study ideas, things like that, family worship ideas. These are all just kind of like things to spark my memory to remember to plan for these things. Okay, so I keep those written in on the backhand side. Then I have this little insert in here from our life admin tasks ideas inserts, or life admin tasks inserts, and these are just ideas. If you want to do an admin day, I do recommend everybody do an admin day every now and then and just get a bunch of admin things done. Those are great inserts for that, and these are just some prompts of things that you can use to kind of help you with that process. Okay, now baby, these are the inserts I'm talking about. Y'all be seeing these inserts and y'all be like, huh? Like, my sis out in these streets doing all of that stuff? Like, who is she? She's doing all of that, okay? But I'm gonna tell you how, because these are not as complicated as one may think they are. There's really 3 basic routines that I have: a morning routine, an afternoon routine, and an evening routine. And all of these different other routines that you see fit within the morning, afternoon, and evening routine. You feel me? Does that make sense? Okay, just to give it to you plain and simple. All right, so let's talk through it. So let's go routine by routine, and I'll kind of show you how all this stuff feeds into those different routines. Okay, so my morning routine consists of me waking up, of course, God willing, okay, making my bed, getting ready. Now, as you can see, there are 2 different columns. There's one here on the left. In the left column, I like to indicate either the time that it takes to do that specific task, the time I'm going to do that specific task, or the day of the week that I'm going to do that specific task. Okay, and that's just helpful for me to be able to just recognize that I'm not doing all of this, or maybe I am, but it kind of isolates out what time I'm supposed to be doing those things. Because I tell you all guys all the time, I'm not really an hour by hour person, but there are some things that require a specific time for that task to be done. So I like to indicate that on this specific insert. Okay, I'm drinking my coffee, y'all. Okay, afternoon routine. Oh, no, we're still in the morning. What am I talking about? Okay, so get ready. I think that should take 20 minutes, unless I'm filming for YouTube. That typically takes longer because I got to get my makeup done and do all that stuff. Okay, then I'm supposed to have my breakfast. None of this should take that long. This is all very simple and easy tasks. Okay, my vitamins, 2 seconds, water, fill up my water bottle, drink some water. Okay, daily text, which is just my daily scripture. I write it in my faith section here. You guys already know that, so that doesn't take long at all. Write it on the monthly calendar. All right, boom, bam, pow. Okay, and then that's something that I kind of recently developed or started doing. I read it, but I didn't always write it in on the calendar. Okay, Addison has to get on the bus, and that's typically a her thing. So I'm just encouraging her to get up and get ready, but I don't have any involvement in terms of the time. I can be doing other things like throwing in a load of laundry. And then you see my first routine. Okay, my first routine is my workout or fitness routine. So that's done during my morning window. So if I flip this thing over, you'll see my entire fitness routine. So on Mondays, I do this. On Tuesdays, I do this. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and so forth. Okay, now sis is doing a lot more tennis lately, so that's something to consider. Some of this does need to be revamped because there's been a lot of changes within our family. But for the most part, this is what I try to do on that specific day. So I'm going to, during my morning routine, I'm going to say, hey, what day is it? And I'm going to say, okay, it's Monday. I'm doing cardio today. Whatever I decide to do for cardio. Okay, and typically I try to do an hour when it comes to working out. So I should be done with that fairly quickly. All right, and so that's the first routine that you see here that feeds into a routine. Okay, I like to have my coffee. I like to check my planner. That's a part of my planner routine under the daily, which we just talked about. And then I'm going to start my work. Now, if I have ministry that day, then my schedule looks a little bit different because, of course, that's done in the mornings. Try to do it Monday, Friday, Saturday. It's definitely a Saturday thing. And so if it is a ministry day, the morning routine is going to be a little different. in morning / afternoon, because it's going to kind of feed into the afternoon. Okay. And I just consider that, especially if it's a weekday. Now, if it's on the weekend, I don't do all of this stuff during the weekend because of course I'm not working on the weekend, or I try not to. There's no school, so there's no after school routine on Saturday and Sunday. So that's where this column comes in handy a lot of times, because I can just look and I can say, hey, this is the day I'm doing this. If there's no day there, I may or may not be doing it. Okay, so that is it for my morning routine. There was really only one routine, well, two, my planner routine and my work routine, not my work routine, excuse me, my workout routine that fed into this morning routine. Okay, we still got a bunch of other routines to talk about. Okay, so we're going to move on to the afternoon routine. Now, I do have that indicated here from 8 to 4, but I really don't work from 8 to 4. And if I'm honest, I'm doing other things throughout that time frame too. So it's not always dedicated work. Okay, but I do have the time from 8 to 4. So technically, if I need 8 to 4, I got it and I can use it as I see fit. So I have my work routine here in the afternoon. Work routine is all here. So these are all the tasks I'm doing within my work routine that's in the afternoon. Okay, so I'm film editing, uploading. Now that's done Monday through Friday, and typically I'm multitasking. Although I hate multitasking, I always talk to y'all about stop doing it, but I feel like there's a time and place for everything. And so usually when I'm editing a video, I'm filming right now, of course, when I go to edit this video, I'm going to be doing shop orders. So that kind of kills two birds with one stone. It just helps me. I put on my headphones, I listen to the video, and I edit it while I'm working. Okay, I also like to post to social. It doesn't take that long. Some of these things are really quick tasks, and some of them, of course, are longer tasks. The main task is just my shop orders and my YouTube stuff. Everything else is really, really quick stuff. And then again, some stuff is only done on certain days. All right. So when I'm looking at the afternoon routine, I'm saying, what do I have to do for work today? Then I'm like, okay, boom, 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 boom. I'll either write it in my planner or I'll just come here and I'll look at it. Usually it's going to be my planner. Okay. And by now I've kind of know my routine, so I don't always have to, again, refer to this. I just use this as a guide to write in my planner to see everything I need to do. And then I look at my planner daily to see how to tackle my day. Okay. So I've got all these various tasks that fit in my afternoon work routine. Now I do have some things for Saturday and Sunday, and that's again going to be done in the afternoon on a Saturday and a Sunday. And some of these things we no longer do. So again, I'll need to come in and kind of clean this up a little bit, but for the most part, this is accurate. All right. So after I'm done with work, if it's at 4 or earlier, then I'm going to tidy up. All right. Now I like to do a quick tidy up because my full cleaning routine isn't until the evening. So I just do a quick tidy up. And when I keep up with it that way, it makes it easier when I do get ready to do my full cleaning. Okay. So I do a quick tidy up and then I have lunch. I do laundry, and then it's time for our next routine, which is the after school routine. Now it's not 3:45 anymore because this was for elementary school. She's now in middle school, so she doesn't get home till about 3:30, 3:40. I'm not 3:30, 3:40. 4:30, 4:40. Okay. So that's when our after school routine starts. I like to be done with work before she gets home so that way I can focus on her and what she needs to do. And then we have a whole after school routine. Now the after school routine doesn't really affect me because I'm not doing the after school stuff. Typically it's Addison. Now there are certain things that I have to do, but it's my job to enforce these things upon Addison and make sure she's getting them done. So it's not taking time away from me besides the constant, hey, are you on task type stuff? Okay. Otherwise I can be doing other things. All right. Also, and we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but if I have any errands to run, that's typically going to be in the afternoon on whatever day. Okay. I don't have a specific day of the week that I do errands, but if I have errands to run, it's going to be in the afternoon. All right. So that's how my afternoon routine works. So again, after school fits within that window, and it's just a couple of things that I have to do as a parent, like check her book bag. That takes 2 seconds. I have to say, Addison, go do your homework. And y'all know they don't really be giving out homework anymore. I have a problem with that, but hey, that's for another video. I need to make sure she's reading 20 minutes. She needs to do her chores. Does she have any extracurricular activities? Which right now she's just doing piano, and that is on Thursdays. Okay. Tutoring used to be in the morning, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, in the afternoon, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Now it's in the morning. So that's why I said we need to revamp that. And it's only on Tuesdays. Okay. Does she have any online activities? Do I have any papers to sign? Fridays. newsletter Fridays, library Wednesdays. You see what I mean? This isn't done every single day. There's really only maybe 5 to 7 things that she has to do every single day. And some of, well, not that she has to do, but between her and I. And mine are usually very quick. Hers, you know, chores takes a little longer, things like that. So this is what works for us. And but again, most of it is just me saying, hey, do this or do that. All right. And she pretty much knows what she needs to do at this point as well. So that's helpful. All right. So as you can see, my next routine, my faith routine, or this isn't really my faith routine because it's an after school routine. This is Addison's faith routine. Mondays, we try to do the Bible study. Okay. So Mondays, we do Bible study. So as you can see, Monday, faith routine. Okay. And then you see right here, Addie study Monday. Boom. All right. And then I tried to get her to learn a new scripture Monday as a part of that. And then she's got free time. And then her bedtime is 9:30, even though that says 8:30, that was for last year. Okay. So this is her full after school routine in the afternoon. This is when this stuff gets done. Some of this is hers and some of this is mine. Okay. You kind of see how things are going. Then we get to the evening routine. Now, as a part of the evening routine, I do my cleaning. These are all the tasks that I do on a daily basis. I like to break things up because it makes things easier. So Monday that, Tuesday that, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense? So that's done in the evening. Then we have family time in the evening, of course. If we're going to take the dogs to the dog park, which we like to do, it's going to be on a Wednesday. Most likely we'll already be out and about because we try to do library on Wednesday. So we could just stop by there after the library or whatever works. It's just I try to group things together. If I'm already out, I like to be out. I don't want to come back in and then go back out, or we're going to choose one or the other. Okay. Then I do my dinner prep, 5:30. So between that time and 7, we are already done with dinner. Then 7 on Thursdays only, family worship. Okay. And then here's my full faith routine, my personal faith routine. Now, y'all know I keep all of this on my daily planner spread. So daily, I'm doing this task every single day is daily text. Monday, weekly Bible reading, Tuesday, treasures. You've already seen this on my actual calendar. Every single week I write it in. So these are the various tasks. Again, we break them down. We're not doing all of this as a part of the faith routine. We're just doing whatever that day's activity says. Okay, so that's why, again, at first glance, this may look overwhelming, but it's really not because of how I have everything organized and broken down. All right. And then read for 20 minutes. And some of these things are on my habit tracker on my weekly spread, not for business typically, but for personal. As you can see, some of these things like daily text, vitamins, which you saw in my morning routine, working out. I like to keep these things on my habit. So when I get it done, I can check it off and it just makes me feel even more accomplished. Okay. If I'm packing lunch for Addison, that's done in the evening. If I need to pay any bills, that's done in the evening. Bedtime routine is next. Okay. So that's a part again of my evening routine, my bedtime routine, which I have that completely broken out right here. So these tasks typically don't take that long, but my bedtime routine is probably one of the lengthier routines because it's got a bunch of routines built in, because this is the end of the day and we got to cover a lot of these other routines that we haven't even talked about. Okay, so from 7:30 onwards, I try to go to bed at a reasonable time, but y'all, sometimes it's late, but I have a ton of time to work with to get all the rest of this stuff done. Okay, because my bedtime routine is in the evening, my self-care routine is in the evening. Okay, so those are a couple of things that I'm gonna show you here, and we're gonna kind of talk through. All right. Also, of course, prayer. I check in with my planner again, and then Addison gets in bed by 9:30. And again, that's just tucking her in. She don't really like for me to read to her anymore, so I ain't got to worry about that. It's just a matter of just spending some time with her, having a little girl talk, even though we probably did that already because she's very open and honest. We talk a lot. But you know, sometimes you just need that extra little bit of time with mom and dad. And so I try to get that to her at that time as well. But as you can see, from 7:30 onward, we really only have our bedtime routine and our self-care routine. So let's talk about it. All right. So bedtime routine consists of me tidying up again, just a quick little thing, especially because we already had dinner. Need to make sure that I reset everything to make it easy for the next day. Okay. We're going to break down my skincare routine. I fill my water bottle. I try to read if possible or listen to a podcast, some sort of enrichment. My planner routine, again, I just talked about checking in with my planner. I have a line a day journal that I try to write one line in course, I have to spend time with my husband. Remember, 7:30 onward, so we got a ton of time to work with. I also lay out clothes, shower, bath, if possible. If I haven't played tennis that day, then I'm doing it in the evening. If I have played tennis, I've already done it. Okay, we talked about my faith routine being in the evening. That's a part of my bedtime routine. Prayer, meditation, and then I try to limit my screen time. So although, again, that looks like a lot, it's really not a lot. Okay, so that is all done during my evening routine. I also didn't really talk too much about family time, but I do have a family time routine, and this is just ideas of things I can do. So as a part of my family time, I can come here and say, okay, what can we do today as a family? Some things are like game night, crafting, cooking, going to the park, baking, drawing, watching a movie, going out somewhere, doing a puzzle, a walk, a bike ride, getting in the hot tub, doing something in the backyard, shopping. So these are really just ideas that I can use to pull from if I'm trying to figure out what we can do as a family during our evening family time window. Okay, so bedtime routine is pretty quick and easy. This is something that's done every single day as a part of my bedtime routine, and that's in the evening. Okay, then I have my self-care routine. Now, I typically don't do too much with self-care. I'm not a super huge self-care girly. Okay, I'd rather give that time to my family. You know, or use it in other ways, because everything is all about time. You know, you can't get it back. And so for me, it's more important for me to use that time in other ways. And sometimes I feel like self-care is the last for me in terms of pouring into. I do things for myself, but I don't always have or go by this self-care routine, if that makes sense. Okay, so I need to check my blood pressure. Y'all know I lost a ton of weight, so it's been looking good. Okay, but I still like to check it. I also like to do these steps in terms of cleansing, exfoliating, toner, moisturizer, face mask. I have something new, and then I have my workout routine here as a part of self-care, but we already know that's done in the morning. All right, so that's a pretty simple routine. That doesn't take long at all if I decide to do it. It's really, really quick. All right, so that is a part of my bedtime routine, which is a part of my evening routine. You get it? All right, so let's talk about a couple of other routines that you see here that may not be plugged into my morning, afternoon, or evening routine, but I know they need to be done. And so I either pick and choose and just pull something from those lists and just get it done whenever possible. But these are things that still need to get done. They just, you know, they don't fit within, well, they do fit within the morning, afternoon, or evening, but they're not something in certain cases that need to be done every single day. Like my Sunday routine. Now, my Sunday routine is typically going to be just whenever I can get these things done on a Sunday. Okay. So if I'm honest, I don't always stick by every single thing morning, afternoon, and evening on the weekends, especially because some of these things just don't need to be done. Like I have a whole 8 to 4 for the most part, because I do go in the ministry on Saturdays, that I have a bunch of time on the weekend, and also we may have somewhere to go or something to do, to where these don't always work on the weekends. They work the best for us during the week. And then we don't need an after school routine. We do need cleaning. We do need faith. You know, certain things we do need. So we kind of pick and choose, and we're very strategic with how we do things on the weekend. Now, the weekday, these are followed, but on the weekend, it's a little bit different. So on a Sunday, these are all the things that I do to set myself up for the week. And again, it looks like a long list, but it's really not much. And I'm in the flow of things now to where I don't even recognize I'm doing stuff. I'm just doing it. And I know, you know, those things are getting done. Like meal planning, groceries, prepping lunch, you know, I have my face masks here because I was really heavy into those at some point. Change my linen, tidy up, cleaning my work bag, usually it's going to be my planner bag, clean my car out, fill my gas tank. You see what I mean? It doesn't take that long to do these things. If I'm out and about, I'm gonna fill my tank up. You know, the day just flows how it flows, okay? So I'm not sitting here and saying, okay, let me plan out my route, or let me plan out how I'm gonna tackle these things. It's just that if I'm out, I'm gonna fill my tank up. If I'm near the car wash, I'm gonna take the car wash in and vacuum the carpets. You know what I mean? Stuff like that just kind of happens organically. Before I make the bed, you know, I just say, let me go ahead and change the linens, you know? Fill my vitamin organizer, plan my week, content, finances, all of it. Fill my water cup up, check the weather, check Addison's book bag, sign any papers if I haven't done that on Friday. That's easy. And so that's done on Sunday. So some of these things were in some of the various categories, and so they'll get tackled either way. I also have a home routine. So these are the things that should be done, whether it's just at a whatever time of the month or daily. Like laundry, that's already on another routine. So some of these things may be written in multiple times, just for emphasis. And then some things, again, don't need to be done every single day. Some may not even need to be done monthly, like cleaning the gutters. You know what I mean? Things like that. I don't garden every single day, but I want to have a specific home routine too that I abide by. All right, like trash. Trash is every week on a Tuesday. So some of these routines don't, again, fit into the main routine. Monday, morning, afternoon, and evening, they're just kind of broken out, but they still need to get done. But I can come here and check in with them to pick and choose when I want to tackle certain projects. All right, we already talked about family time on a daily basis, just to give you some ideas. Enrichment, you know, whether it's reading or whatever the case may be. I can pull from this for ideas. And then my monthly routine is only done once a month. All right. So like I need to plan monthly, change bed sheets again. I may have already done that on Sundays. I have office tasks. I need to clean the refrigerator, clean the pantry, meal plan. My command center needs to be reset. Clean out my car. Again, that's a part of my Sunday. So I may have already done that. Clean my purse out, clean the closet, declutter. All these things are done only once a month. And I typically don't say, okay, Sunday, the first of the month, I'm going to do all these things. Typically, I'm trying to tackle them throughout the month to set myself up for success. So that way I make sure I'm not overwhelmed. Okay. So those are all of my routines, you guys. As you can see, when I break them down for you and kind of talk you through them, they're not as overwhelming as they may appear to be at first glance, right? I hope not. I hope I didn't confuse you more than anything. And you're like, well, now that didn't help. I hope I gave you a little bit more clarity. And again, these routines work for us. You don't have to do any of this. At the end of the day, you can have just a simple morning, afternoon, evening routine. You don't have to have all these extra routines that feed into this routine. You could just have a simple 5 to 10 things you do at the various times of the day, because again, I feel like everybody should have routines. And so just know though, you need to get clear on your priorities. If you want to implement routines, before you even try to build a routine, you need to ask yourself what actually matters to you right now. Okay. Is it your health? Is it your work? Is your family, self-care, your side hustle? Pick your top 2 to 3 priorities so that way your routine feels aligned and it doesn't feel random. Okay. So here's how you're going to create routines for yourself. All right. Because again, they're your superpower. I feel like everybody should have them. And I feel like once you implement them, you're going to see a real shift in your life. All right. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to write down your non-negotiables. These are the things that absolutely have to get done every single day of every week. Okay. So an example are like meals. Everybody got to eat, right? Sleep, work, school, things like that. They're non-negotiables. All right. So you're going to put these things down first, and you're going to fit them wherever. I say you write out morning, afternoon, evening, and then you just started plugging those things in within those various routines, morning, afternoon, or you could just have a morning and an evening routine. Okay, so assign them wherever they go. So you're going to put those things down first, so that way you're building everything around those things. Those are the most important things that are, again, non-negotiable. Okay, so we know our non-negotiables. And again, remember, you're going to choose your blocks. So morning, afternoon, morning, evening, whatever you decide. You're going to break your day into natural chunks, whatever works for you. So instead of micromanaging every minute, you're going to give yourself blocks of time where you can kind of categorize the tasks. Okay. Then you're going to plug in your priority habits. You get it? You see what I mean? You see how this whole thing kind of flows? So now you're going to add your habits or your activities that support your goals. So example, morning, you're going to do 10-minute stretch, coffee, plan your day. Afternoon, you're going to have your focus block, maybe do work projects. And then evening, maybe you're going to prep for tomorrow, or you're going to read before bed. So you want to make sure that you're also incorporating your habits after you've already wrote in first your non-negotiables. So you can make sure you get the important things done first, but there's still other things that you need to do that need to be plugged into that as well. Okay. You're going to keep it stupid simple. Okay. KISS. Keep it simple, sis, or keep it stupid simple, sis, however you want to say it. If your routine feels like a military boot camp, you're not going to stick to it. So start with 1 to 2 habits per block, not 10. I say maybe 5. You know, the goal is consistency, not perfection. Then you want to make sure that you run your routine for a week, and you're going to notice where it flows and where it flops. And be real with yourself. If you're skipping a habit daily, maybe it doesn't fit in that block. So adjust it. Don't quit it. Don't stop it. It just don't belong there. So make sure that you move it, shift it, do whatever you got to do to make sure you still get it done, but you've tweaked it to work the best for you. All right. Next, you want to reward yourself. You want to add rewards and cues. So your brain loves dopamine. So stack your routine with little rewards. All right. So here's an example. Listen to your favorite playlist while you're cleaning. All right. Treat yourself to a latte after a focus block. Also use cues. So like an alarm, some sort of playlist, candle, things like that. It's going to signal your brain to figure out what's next. So use some rewards and cues, okay? That helps. It helps me as well. Quiet. Next step is you want to protect it. Consistency is built on protecting your routine, baby. So say no to that extra noise that throws you off. The more you repeat it, the more on autopilot it becomes, which is what you want it to become. You want it to be second nature. You don't want to be checking in with this every single day. Eventually you want this to just be what you do. Okay, y'all. So a routine isn't about being perfect. We know that, right? It's about making your days flow easier. So start small, stack habits, and build that momentum, baby. Over time, it's going to feel less like discipline and more like, this is just what I do. Okay. And I love that for you. So that's all about my routines, y'all. Hopefully I've given you a little bit of clarity. I've helped you to figure out how you yourself can build routines, which again are super duper important. So get to work, start, okay? Build something like this or something simple that's going to work for you. These inserts are available in our shop. They come blank, no headers, nothing written in, of course, and you can build a routine that works best for you using all of the steps that I've just given you. All right, so thanks so much for joining me on today's video. I hope that you guys liked it so much that you'll give me a heart me up, okay? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you use routines? Is this something you're going to implement? I would love to hear from you. I also hope that if you're new here, you consider subscribing to my channel. And as always, I would love it if you came back to catch another video, in which case I'll see you then.